Hey traders, I'm going to break down the trades that I took today and the importance of finding key reference areas. Let's jump right in. I will always like to start with the dollar because the dollar is the one and only auto enhancer that I've been using for years now, and it gives me a good direction for the market. If you see here, here's the daily chart on the dollar. You see the long bias, right? So this gives me a little bit of a default mode for my trading in the equity markets. I will expect the dollar to go up until it starts breaking down. So that's the first assumption that I have when I sit down here in the morning. But today was very explicit. The dollar gave me a lot of signals, good signals, if you will. If you go to the 30 minute, let's go better to the 5 minutes. So this is the 5 minutes on the dollar. By the way, we did have CPI news report today, and you would expect the market to trend in one direction. I'm talking about the dollar, I'm talking about the equity markets, but we didn't have that today. Actually, the dollar had a spike immediately after the report came out, and we broke yesterday's high, and we barely went into this gap, which is Sunday's open, okay, on the dollar. And we faced a wall of sellers here, which just pushed prices down, right? So after this big rejection, you would expect, all right, this thing is gonna trend to the downside. And I was thinking that at some point earlier today after CPI, right? But then later after 850, it couldn't even break this low from Asia. This is Asia, by the way, and this is Frankfurt right here. Where is it? This is Frankfurt. So we broke Frankfurt, we broke London, but we couldn't break Asia session. And then right after this, the dollar started to spike, okay? And I said, all right, so the dollar is going to go up and the market is going to drop. But this happened at 9:15. The market started to reverse and the dollar started to come down again. So I said, all right, so we're establishing a range, okay? So next time the dollar is in either of these ones, I could try the long or the short. Even though I was biased to the short side, and I was buying to the short side because the daily chart on the dollar is long bias, right? That's the default mode. And I have areas to short in the equity markets. That's another thing. You need to have location in the dollar and you need to have location in the equity markets. And I'll tell you why I couldn't take the short trade later. Although I did have the area, I couldn't execute. That's for later today in this video. So I said, all right, next time prices are here, I'm going to long. Next time prices are here, I'm going to short. Then the market opened right here, came down, and the ES just went straight up. So let's go to the 5 minutes because the 5 minutes tells you a better story. So here we open and we come here. And right here in this pivot, I did have an area and I was distracted. Sadly, but true. I was distracted and I couldn't take this short. Okay? It's not that I hesitated or something. No, I was distracted when I realized that the prices that I couldn't take this area, prices were already like around here. And I don't like to chase. I feel like I'm too late and I could be like a live bait to the market, like just feeding the market. And that's not the way I like to trade. I like to get my areas, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's fine. But I don't want to chase price because it's very dangerous. And I've learned this the hard way. Don't you think that someone in YouTube told me, oh, don't chase the market? No. How do you find this area? That's easy. I will leave you a link down below for the video that I published back on Monday on how to find areas. So you Control-3 this and you draw the COT for the last 2 days. And you draw this. By the way, this is not something that I'm doing right now. I did have this before market open today. And I put yesterday's COT just because we are in the same range. Okay? If we would have gapped down and established value like down here, I would not include the 2 previous days. But a big chunk of yesterday was within this previous day range. There you go. So here it is. this is yesterday's COT, which is in light blue color. Came here, this is the entry. I start feeling FOMO. That's the reality. So, and you say, well, Franco, if you were short bias, why you ended up taking a long? And this is the story. I have different setups, and I can take a pullback continuation, which was this one, pullback continuation. Also this one, pullback continuation. It pulled back to the area and continued to the downside. Or against today's bias, you can take tradable reaction on high expectancy, high probability key reference areas. How do you find these areas? You have established range right here. And I have 4 ways to find them, right? Top of the range, bottom of the range, which I don't think is very probable in this case because you have just the pivot, right? The COT or the high volume node and the launching point. What is the launching point? You have this one. From here, the market just went up and established value in another level, right? So my assumption is when prices come down to this level, it's an automatic fade. By the way, I took the long right here. I took 2 longs. I lost the first one and I won the second one. So this is the first loss. All this is the MES on the same green area, okay? And then I took the long here and closed it right here. But Franco, this thing moved 20 points. Why you got 8 points? Remember, I was taking a tradable reaction. It was not a trade where I expected a continuation, meaning a further continuation and keep breaking areas. So I was expecting this thing just to go to the next supply. And if you see here, the first resistance point was this pivot right here, right? The open, the pivot, and then here is where I bailed out right before. I didn't want to stretch this trade and take the risk for this thing to go down and stop me out, break even. You don't know what's going to happen. You have to have a plan. So tradable reactions, closer targets, so you have a higher probability to hit it. Remember, you're against today's bias. Right? And you say, all right, but it continued. Yeah, but it is what it is. Then I tried to short right here and I closed it at break even just because I didn't have the momentum. Although it ended up working, my trade was not going to be a winner because my stop was a lot closer, like it was above this pivot right here. So I would have gotten stopped out, although it worked. And I'll show you the area. The area is this one. It's the same blue area, right? It's the same blue area that worked. This is it for today. If you find value in this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and like it so we can reach more traders. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video.